Hello, welcome back to Tiny Jungle Joy. So today I want to talk about some tips on expanding your plant collection without breaking the bank. So my first tip is going to be to shop clearance. And I got a plant on clearance at the supermarket, which you might not think of for plants, but sometimes they have a plant section and they'll put out seasonal plants. And I went to a Kroger, it was close to my house, and they had some shamrock plants out, purple and green, for St. Patrick's Day. Now, I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day, so I had no need to dress up. And I resisted buying an Oxalis shamrock plant. But after St. Patrick's Day passed, they had them on sale. So I got this baby for $1. And I've had quite a bit of luck shopping the plant sales stand. So every time I go, I have to cruise by and see what they have on clearance. Most of the time I don't buy anything, but that's me being good. Okay, another example would be from online shopping. They had a clearance page at a site called Josh's Frogs. They mostly sell things for aquariums and terrariums and stuff, but they had a plant section, and they had this trailing begonia, Pellionia plant, which I kind of love, honestly. I had never heard of it before, but it was a great price, and I looked it up real quick and decided to go for it. And this one is going to overlap with one of my other categories of propagation, because I've been taking cuttings of this guy for a couple of years now and sharing them with friends, which leads me to my bonus tip. Let people know, make friends with plant people, and they might share their bounty with you, but I'll talk more about that later. Okay, another example of clearance plant is this geranium, and if you look close, it's about to bud and flower again. And this one I got last year from a farmer's market. There was a whole tray of geraniums and begonias and maybe something else, I don't remember. I got 12 plants though for $5, so I was pretty thrilled with that. And it was the end of the season, maybe the last day they were bringing those plants out, so they were willing to let them go for a really cheap price, and I got to mix and match. And the reason I still have that one though, because you might think of geraniums as an annual. You only grow them, use them over the warm season, and they don't survive the winter, and they don't unless you look up how to overwinter them, and that's why I still have that one. About half of the ones I tried to overwinter didn't make it. It's my first time trying that, but live and learn and grow and keep going. Okay, my second category is propagation. So if you can see behind me, I've got a big Diffenbachia, and I bought that one full price as a treat for myself, and it was maybe $12.99 at Home Depot. I don't remember, and that was a splurge for me. I don't spend a lot of money on plants, as I mentioned. And one of the first things that I did when I got it was look through and take a cutting, and I popped that right in the water. I really like water cuttings. I get to see the results as they go along without disturbing the roots too much. I popped that right in the water, and now I've got another Diffenbachia without spending another $12. And hopefully, if I give it time, it'll get as big and beautiful as its mama plant. Another way to propagate, besides begging your plant friends for cuttings, and I'm sure they'll be happy to give you some, because I certainly don't mind sharing, is you can buy bulbs. Now this is an elephant ear. I recently saw the big elephant ear plants, looking gorgeous, really big pot, and it was $12.99. I got this from the same supermarket for $2.99. Every spring they have these bulbs set up, and I pass them by. This time I went for it, and hopefully in a couple of months I'll have a nice big elephant plant for a fraction of the price. This is still purchasing but also propagating, but I got these Gladiolus bulbs, and they look healthy, from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to try them out. So $1, 6 bulbs. That's pretty economical. It's almost a steal. Okay, and this pot is full of ginger, regular supermarket ginger. May have been organic, I'm not sure, but I decided to experiment, and it was starting to sprout. Put it in some dirt, water occasionally. Keep it in a sunny spot, and a few months later, more fruit plants. Another one I propagated, before I move on to something else, is this sweet potato vine. And I grew this last spring from a sweet potato that was starting to sprout. I had let it sit around a little too long, and I sprouted it, got about a bunch of slips, as they call them, and put them in a pot. I had a nice trailing display, and I tried to overwinter some of them, and that's the one that survived. So, you know, keep trying, keep growing. Now, some useful skills are going to be learning how to divide plants, and that's how I got this English ivy. My sister got this, and now I've got it too. So I took a little bit off her plant, and I'm gonna keep that growing. And this is another one that I divided off. There's a couple in there that I grew from cuttings as well. For this one, I'll do other videos on how to grow plants from cuttings. And so one bonus tip is going to be to go outside. You know, depending on where you live, you might be able to find plants for free. Like the ivy I showed you. This is English ivy, but you can see, if I walk down the street, I can probably see, you know, ivy growing on the side of a house. And what I've done before is take a couple of clippings, have little bits of root on them, and stick it in some water or just dirt, and water it. And by dirt, of course, I mean proper soil junk. And water it, you know, put it in the sun, do the normal plant things. Right here, I'm gonna bring her out. This is one of my oldest plants, part of my beginning of my plant journey, and this was perfectly free. I lived in the tropics at the time, and this was growing on a wall. I took some cuttings, and the rest is history. I've taken cuttings, a bunch of cuttings from there, and given them away. So, you know, hit up your plant friends and have them propagate something for you, or hand it to you, and we'll talk about propagating in another video, hopefully. Anyway, so those are my tips. Clearance plants. Propagate from cuttings, you know, free plants. It takes time though, and to grow from seeds or bulbs, with you know, varying degrees of difficulty. But if you read up on your topic, then you should be able to do fairly well. You know, hang on to that first tip I gave you about the light. That's going to be important. And I'll talk to you again soon about some more plants. Let me know if anybody has any questions. That would give me an idea for the next topic. All right, thanks so much. Bye.